Hi, guys. I'd like to talk about an experience I had with my boys. And I know people like to say my tribe. From this experience, especially, and many more that I've had, my kids, my tribe. So we go to the barber shop, and then my autistic son refuses to get in. So he wants to be outside. My other son sits down in readiness for the haircut. And then as we progress, I try to convince my autistic son to get inside, but he won't have it. So I was trying to give attention to both him and my other son, who's now ready to have a haircut. So then at some point, he calls me. He's like, "Mommy, I'd like to whisper something in your ear." So he says, "I'm not so comfortable being here. I don't want to have the haircut. I don't like this barber." So I said, "So what would you like us to do?" He says, "Let's go home." But your hair is not done yet. He even almost breaks down. So I'm like, "Okay, stop." I just told the barber, "Stop." But then I realized from the communication, he was trying to tell him how he wants the haircut. And also, I think he was expecting some playfulness from the guy because from the past experiences, you know how it is with kids. And then don't forget, my autistic son is still outside. He doesn't want to get in. So I thought about it, and as you know, I was getting him ready for us to leave, and I was like, kids are very intuitive, super, super, super intuitive. Now imagine an autistic child. He didn't get inside. It's like he didn't feel the space. It's definitely something he was feeling. That's why he didn't want to go inside. So by the time my son was like, "I'm not comfortable being here. I don't want to have the haircut. I'm not comfortable with this barber," definitely something was off. So we paid and then we went. But we had a conversation with the owner of the space, and he understood why the gentleman was not, fit for the child because that's how he is. So we got a recommendation from uh, one of the other barbers there, and yeah, things went better after. So anyway, that's besides the point. What I'm saying is, my children really look out for each other because on our way home, my son goes like, "I think the reason why his brother didn't want to go in is because he was also not comfortable with that barber. So maybe next time we should try a different barber." Then I asked him, "A different barber or a different barber shop?" He said, "Both." Then by the time we got home, I think he had reflected. He tells me, "Mommy, actually, I'd like us to go to the same barber shop, but then we tried the other barber that was there next. He looked like he would be okay." Sure enough, he's the one who ended up giving him a haircut. But then he also told me something so sweet. "But I also forgive this other barber that didn't do the haircut well, the one I was not comfortable with." The sweetest thing a child would say. So, besides that, even at home, I see how they relate with each other and also how they relate with my autistic child, especially. They really look out for him, even when he's not comfortable to do something or engage in an activity that they are engaging in. Usually they just find a way to like pull him in and maybe give him something that will make him comfortable or at least just try and include him one way or another. For example, he is not comfortable with going up and down the stairs. And we got to experience this firsthand when we moved to a new apartment because the place we were staying before was ground floor. But then we moved to a new house that you have to go up and down the stairs. Now, my son was not okay with that, especially the very first time. Usually, when we go places, when we go to hang out somewhere, it's different because then if he doesn't want to go up the stairs, then we just cancel. We'll go look for an alternative. We'll go somewhere else. But now this is home where we are supposed to sleep, live, and he wasn't okay with it. So we somehow managed to get through it on day one. But from the moment he got inside the house, he didn't want to get out. So going down the stairs was a problem for him. And I'm sure it would have been worse coming up the stairs, which, I mean, is an experience we've had. So they would be like, we're not going to play downstairs because our brother is not comfortable with the stairs. So we're just going to play just here within the house, or if we're going out, just on the veranda, we play and then come back to the house. Imagine, they are so caring, they are so concerned about their brother, so much so that they'd rather sacrifice going down just so that they spend time with him, they get to play with him, they get to include him, and so many other aspects that we've experienced together that I will keep sharing. That's why I'm saying my kids, my tribe.